How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, back with the best, in my opinion, part of this entire 5-part Midwest Gaming Classic road trip experience. And this one is definitely going to be quality over quantity. There's a couple things in here that probably won't blow you away, but there's definitely some really awesome things in this video. And the last two things I'm going to show you guys at the end, I think are the coolest things among them all. So definitely stick around to the end because this one is definitely not going to disappoint. Just jumping right in though, guys, I'm going to start to show you this stuff here. The first item that I picked up I got for $5. It is a Natsume title, and the printing on this manual looks so low quality it almost looks like it's a bootleg, but I assure you it's not. It is a 3D puzzle game, and it is Block Kids. Put out by Natsume, and I'll see if I can extract the manual here, and I don't know if the camera is going to do it justice, but it just looks like it's kind of a low quality ink. It could just be my old eyes, but maybe just towards the end of the PlayStation 1's life they weren't putting the same quality into their stuff as they were originally, kind of like how the NES and Super NES kind of fell off in quality towards the end. This was made in... Oh wow, yeah, this was made in 2003, so this was made well towards the end of the PlayStation's life cycle, so that definitely probably explains it. Definitely, probably. Alright. These next 4 games I picked up all at one time, and they were not any kind of super, you know, Game Chasers $2 bargain bin. I definitely like to differentiate myself. I'm not one of those eBay collectors that just goes and buys every single rare game I want at full retail price, but I am known to spend some money on games. With me, the purpose to collecting is to find the games you want. I definitely love the thrill of the hunt, but I can also put into perspective that, you know, if I want Little Samson, I'm not going to find it for $5. That happens to like 1 in a million collectors. It's not logical to think that it's going to happen, and if I do ever find it for $5, I can always flip the inferior copy if I purchased one at a much more premium price down the road. So, anyways, I probably paid like 60% of retail on these 4, and they were clean games, and they were games I wanted in my collection, so again, it's really all relative to me, not so much how much they cost, but how relative it is to the actual value, because with how games are nowadays, with them going up so much, even if a mild recession were to happen in the video game market, and yeah, listen to me trying to sound all Bloomberg about video games, but anyways, even if a moderate dip in price were to happen, I could recover most of my money pretty quickly if I decided to get rid of these. But at the end of the day, that's not really what it's about for me. One of my amiibos was falling, but yeah, oh my god, he collects amiibos. Again, thrill the hunt. I've never used any. I just like to find them and display them. They all kind of look pretty cool. But anyways, I'll save that for another time. These 4 games here. The first one is a game I've owned in the past. I actually think I've owned it twice, and it actually, believe it or not, is a port of an arcade game. How often does Square Enix make arcade games? Pretty fun game, and it's Urgi's God Bless the Ring. And what's cool about this is, aside from being a decent 3D fighting game, it also has, in my opinion, a pretty fun, full-featured RPG built in it, kind of like a Diablo-style 3D dungeon crawler. Definitely fun if you haven't played it yet, so check it out. This next one here is very inexpensive. I think this was only like 10 bucks, and it's only about a $15, $20 game. I had this as a younger adult, and I thought it was pretty fun. It's kind of like Suikoden of sorts, and it is Beyond the Beyond. And 2 things about this that drive me crazy. The back of the case has a crack in it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's pretty much all the way across. And then the actual disc has like a silver rental sticker on it, and I'm hesitant to remove it, not only because I'm scared it's going to damage the game, but it's kind of cool to have a rental sticker on it like that, because it doesn't really impede on the art in any way, and you know, definitely cool to see where this history of this game has been. The next 2 are Atlas titles, and I've had my eye out for both for quite some time. This first one here actually looks pretty interesting, kind of looks like a tactical RPG, and it's Hoshigami Running Blue Earth. This next one here I got at a good price. I would say probably 45% off of retail. I was not as lucky as my buddy who came with me, who prior to getting to the convention found this at a local, a non-local game store. I believe the store was called The Exchange, and he found his for $30. and this game goes for about 4 times that. And it is a very clean copy of Brigandine, The Legend of Forcina. Forcina, that would be like 4 John Cenas, which some of you think I look like, including that gigantic Neanderthal Billy who resembles a friggin' orangutan, or maybe that Sasquatch from the friggin' beef jerky commercials. So he can talk all the smack he wants. I guess I look like John Cena, even though I'm technically older than Cena, I believe, so technically he looks like me. Or so I think. I don't know. I don't think I look like Cena anyways, so. And even if I did, y'all couldn't see me, so. Alright, enough of that. Continuing forward, if you noticed in maybe part 1 of this series, I picked up a Game Boy game, and it was Fist of the North Star for like $3. I found this on the floor for $5, so I was definitely okay paying that. And it is actually the box for the game. And I could be wrong, this may be one of the worthless Game Boy games, but you do not see complete in-box Game Boy games, and this is a very clean box, so I am a manual and an insert away from completing it, so definitely excited to get that much closer to completing it. These next 2 I bundled together and I paid $15 for, which I thought was a pretty fair price. The first one's a Game Boy Color game, actually they both are. And this one is Miss Pac-Man Special Color Edition, which includes a bonus game of Super Pac-Man, which I don't think was released on any other console prior to that or after that. And definitely cool because it's really clean and, like I said, complete. This other one, I believe, is the second release of this game, because the original release kind of had a foil outline on the front of it, but still happy to complete it. Another Mario completed off the list, and it's Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, which is kind of a graphical upgrade of the original Mario with some cool new features. So if you guys see this on the cheap and you're a fan of the original Mario, definitely check it out. It's got some cool features on it that make it a little more interesting. Alright guys, 4 more games here and then a few special surprises at the end, and like I said, definitely worth the wait, so stick around, you will not be disappointed. The first one is definitely one of the rarer Dreamcast games that I now own. I was super happy to add this one to the collection, and I got a pretty good price on it. It is a copy of Power Stone 2, and in really good shape. Next, I will show you 2 games that I got bundled together. I paid a lot for them, but compared to what they are worth, I did not pay a lot. I probably got these for about half what they're worth. And I got these from a really cool guy who I don't know if I'll be able to figure out any of the information. I will attempt to. But he just recently successfully had a Kickstarter that will solve the blinking light problem on the NES. Basically, he designed his own pin connector where you can insert the cartridge in and you don't have to press it down, and it'll prevent the wear and tear on your cartridge and on the pin connector. So very cool guy, very cool idea. Like I said, I will figure out what his credentials are. I will link him below. I definitely think you guys should check that out. If you are into the original NES, I personally play my games on the Retron. I just like the HD look, the upgraded graphics, and I like the fact that it's a brand new system and that my games just pop in and play. But if I were to play on a classic NES, that is definitely a route I would take because the pins on those do not last forever, and this is a very quality project, so I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Anyways, picked up 2 games from him. The first one is one of the heavy hitters on the Sega CD, and I'm getting very close to having all of those. You'll see another big one in a near video, a future video if you will. This one here is a Hudson Soft title, and it's got a very interesting and provocative cover. It is The Space Adventure, and if you can't tell, there is a bikini-clad woman with a lightsaber and a machine gun drop-kicking in space. So definitely a interesting little look there. It's got the styrofoam in there, and this is normally over $200 on eBay, and this is in like perfect condition. There may be like a mild scuff or scratch on the case somewhere, but definitely well above my collecting standards. So thought that was interesting. I've had my eye out for it. It actually made my buddy Adam, Gunstar777, a little bit jealous. So unfortunately, Adam, yes, I now have the Space Adventure. This next one here is a perfect testament that karma does in fact exist. You guys may remember 6 or so videos back at this point, I had a pretty insane Super Nintendo haul. And one of the games that I had the opportunity to get, but I passed on because I knew a friend of mine wanted it. I figured, you know, I was already getting so many quality games, and she was just looking for this game specifically, so I figured that the least I could do was not be a greedy Grimsie and let her get dibs on that. Well, it turns out that it came along and paid itself back and came my way, and in my opinion, this is actually a cleaner copy, and I am super happy to say that I now am one of the proud owners of Evo, The Search for Eden. And as you can see, this is a really, really, really clean game. I'm trying to get the glare reflecting on the label, not really working. There it is. It is a real label. I have verified that, and I also took it apart and verified that the board was in fact intact and real, authentic. So very, very satisfied with this. Very, very happy to add it to the collection. The last actual game that I'm going to show you guys is something that I had just recently heard about, and I am blown away by it. If you guys have an opportunity to see this, I will link a video below for you guys to check out. Definitely give this a look. Unfortunately, I do not have the ability to capture gameplay footage on it right now. I will in the near future, once I find out a way to display it a little better, because normally I would capture video footage through my Retron since it outputs HDMI. But this actually won't work on the Retron, unfortunately. I believe this was originally brought from a sourced Chinese hack of a really, really cool NES game. And you're going to be surprised when I show you. And I tell you now, this is not a cheap game. So if you find this, be prepared to pay up the butt for it. Apparently, some of the board or the chips or something in it are very difficult to either manufacture or make, or there's something about it that's a pain in the butt. But when I saw it, I absolutely could not say no. The seller was super cool. He actually had heard of my channel before, and he gave me a very fair price. So without further ado, I give you guys Final Fantasy VII for the NES. And this game, in my opinion, has almost like Final Fantasy IV graphics, or Final Fantasy II for the Westerners, for the Super Nintendo. Very, very, very good graphics, very good sound, and it plays just like Final Fantasy VII. It's got Final Fantasy VII ISK music, and it still has the materia system, and a lot of things from the game. It is a full-featured RPG. Definitely something I highly recommend you check out. You may see it, like I said, in a video in the near future. I definitely would want to do it justice, though, just so you guys could see the quality of this game. In the meantime, like I said, check out that video I linked below on it. You'll definitely see that it is definitely a really, really cool thing. And one of the crown pieces of my NES collection at this point. I'm just a big fan of the game to begin with, and to have a NES port of it is just... It's such a quality port, you would have thought that Square themselves made it. That's where I'm going to leave that at. It's very, very good. Alright guys, so before I show you the last two items, you've noticed this red shirt that I've been wearing for the last, I don't know, 50 videos at this point, but this was actually a gift from my buddies Eric and Mo of the Midwest Retro Gamers, and this awesome snazzy shirt here was actually made by my buddy Billy McDonald, who actually has a really, really awesome and high-quality t-shirt printing company. That's where I got my Grimsie42 shirts. So I was definitely grateful to Eric and Mo for hooking me up with this. And the next thing I'm going to show you sort of came from Eric and Mo too. So I'll just take you in a rare trip down to the Grimsie42 basement, and I will tell you the story there. So check it out. Alright guys, I'm back, and as you can see from my shaky camera hands here, this here is actually from the actual convention Retropalooza. And this was a panel schedule, and as you can see, there are some serious who's who's on here. Pat the NES Punk, GameSack, Boogie2988, Pro Jared, OK Chief, Alpha Omega Sin, Black Nerd Comedy, Game Chasers, and if my camera can zoom in good enough, grow your collection through sales and trades. And look who made the list. Grimsie42, JHMDF, and Beat 'em Ups, also known as Wood. And this was something that was really, really cool. Like I said, I was lucky enough to be a part of the panel, and I definitely wanted to keep this, but unfortunately I flew down to Texas, and I did not think this thing would survive the flight. It's probably 3 feet tall. So my buddies Mo and Eric of the Midwest Retro Gamers were kind enough, since they drove, to take this home. And that was super, super awesome of them. And they actually got it framed for me, as you can see. So I was super, super grateful. They are definitely class acts, and I will link their channel below. So go ahead and check them out. But the next thing I'm going to show you is super awesome. It's the last part of the video, so definitely get ready for something awesome. Alright guys, back with the final goodie here, and no, it's not that Sharks territory sign, but go Sharks. This is actually a custom-built JAMA cabinet that I picked up, and as you can see, it's got a mock of the original art for the Turtles, and same thing with the sides, the ultra-sexy 1980s hair of April O'Neil. It's got these light up LED buttons here, and it is a multicade, which, pirating aside, I guess, has about 500, if I'm not mistaken, games from, you know, all over the past. Just to highlight here, WWF WrestleFest, the Fatal Fury games, all kinds of awesome stuff. X-Men, Street Fighter, it's got the Dungeons and Dragons games. But like I said, over 500 games on this bad boy, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick one of my favorites here. It's actually got the original Turtles arcade. Bear with me here, it kind of boots them up pretty quick. But I was just blown away by this, and it is definitely just the highest quality that I've ever seen for one of these. It's definitely super, super high quality, and it's pretty much arcade perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll let the introduction play through here for you. Probably can lightly hear the music. But just pretty freaking awesome. I'll even see if I can boot it up quick for you. Yeah, Leonardo will work. Definitely pretty high quality. I'm just skipping ahead there, but as you can see, it's pretty sweet. So definitely definitely happy to own this, and definitely a very, very high quality piece to my collection. This is definitely something that I am totally blown away with. I'm gonna go ahead and boot it out of the menu and go ahead and shut it down. But basically, like I said, this is just super awesome. I cannot believe that I was lucky enough to pick one of these up. It was not cheap by any standard, but definitely worth the price I paid for it. I was able to haggle down a little bit on it anyways. But just again, I'm going to pull out and give you guys one more look. The thing is just a work of art. And super fun. A couple of my buddies had heard about it, and they're already jealous. And figure while I'm down here, I'll show you. I have one other really cool thing here. I've got this really cool Mario Kart standee. And then anyone who hasn't seen the episode of the Game Chasers, I actually have two original Pac-Man and then Centipede there arcades. So definitely something that you guys do not get to see very much. But anyways, really appreciate you watching this to the end. I hope you thought that the Turtles cabinet is as cool as I do. And until next time, guys, take care.